Alright, what's up guys? So, welcome to another Storytime video, and in today's video, I was just sitting down thinking about this and was like, wow. Like, Chipotle really didn't hire me for that reason, and I'm like, and the thing is, I don't want to necessarily say, like, it's karma, because, so this happened, like, years ago, and it actually had happened, like, prior, before that E. coli, outbreak that happened at Chipotle, and it, like, shut down a crap ton of locations, but I don't want to like necessarily say like that's karma, but at the same time, I'm like, if that's how the interviews are going for everybody that tries to get a job at Chipotle, then yeah, karma is it's still here and it's alive and it's well and it is extremely strong. All right, so then my advice out there is like, I'm gonna give you guys that advice like after I tell the story and stuff, because I just it's one of those things where it's like, you just gotta have that build up moment for it and things. So, but anyway, so yeah, years ago, I'm going in for an interview at Chipotle, and yeah, it's like with any other interview, because this was my first interview at that too. So yeah, I'm nervous, don't really know what to expect. And yeah, it's like whole way of like getting up there and things. I'm not like really panicking, but I'm like, I'm getting the nervous sweats pretty much, because I'm like, bro, I this is it. Like I'm going in for an interview and stuff. So, anyways, so no, I get there. I think the guy had greeted me, or it was either I was waiting outside or the guy was greeting me, but either way. Eventually I'm like, I am inside the Chipotle, like restaurant and stuff. So I'm like, okay, dang, like this is it. Like I'm really in this. So I'm really here right now. So we sit down, and it was like a group like interview type thing where they would have like multiple. So they had it where I was being interviewed along with another guy being interviewed, and I think another person was there being interviewed. So anyways, they go and they're like just asking us like, each individual, like just, different questions and stuff. And I think that was a question that they had either, I think, no, I think it was like a group question where they asked all of us. But there was just like, they asked us, what like background like stuff do you know about Chipotle? Like overall saying, do you know about our upbringings? Do you know about like our history and all of that stuff? And I'm sitting down thinking, like, I know that this location is hiring, like, because all right, and that's the reason why they didn't hire me, because I didn't know. And I wish I could find that email, because he emailed it to me and he was all like, because of your like, not pretty much like you're like not knowing of us and stuff. Yeah, we can't hire you for that reason. And my thing is this, if a person is getting, this is where the advice comes in. It's like, if a person is looking, for a job, they're looking for employment, they're looking to get a check, they're not really, because I'm saying, like, depending on the business, I feel like Chipotle is just not one of those places where they should be asking that question and stuff. Like, maybe if it's like WWE, or I don't know, like maybe if you trying to get like some job at the White House, we're talking about a Chipotle in the middle of Washington. Like, no, bruh. Like, I just don't personally feel, unless that was, but I don't even think that was like the location that, that started Chipotle and things. So that's why I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to get like no executive job at Chipotle. I'm just trying to get like either a job where I'm either making the food or I'm a cashier or something. Like it was just I still to this day think about that, because that was the only place that had ever asked me that question. I remember I went in for two other interviews. I went in for an interview at Macy's, and then I went in for an interview at my old job. And yeah, they did not ask me that question. If any Macy's, I don't even think they didn't even care if I knew about their, background history or whatever. They didn't even bring nothing like that up. And I remember at my old job, and shout out to the manager that had hired me at the time. Yeah, he told me about the place, and that's like what an interview should be. Like giving you guys an example, like overall talking to any like managers, bosses, whoever and stuff. But what an interview should be is that you make the person feel comfortable. Like, a person is already nervous from, like, okay, you're making this step where you're getting this job. You don't know whether or not you're going to get hired. the last thing I need is to like have it where you guys ask me some pressuring question that's like, oh, do you know about Chipotle's background history and stuff? And I'm like, bruh, I don't even know my background history. How do you think I'm supposed to know like your background history and stuff? I don't know my ancestors. I don't know none of that stuff. I still to this day haven't taken one of them like ancestry tests. So if I don't even know about my own background history, what makes you think I'm gonna know about Chipotle, a franchise, like whatever you guys got going on, your history and stuff? So yeah, it was to like still to this day I sit down and I think about that. I'm like, that was like the most weirdest like interview ever and stuff. And then fast forward, it was like I think it was either some months or it was some time later. Then that whole situation happened where they had like that E. coli outbreak. And so I most likely would have lost the job anyways and stuff. But no, I just always thought about that and was all like, man, like like that's just not a legitimate reason to not hire a person, you know? Like my thing is this, if that person, this is me personally, if I was, you know, and it was just overall going based off of my last job. But if I'm hiring a person, all right, I'm gonna like, you know, hire them on or see what they feel comfortable with or kind of just, you know, show them like the ropes of like the things that they will be doing, right? Because I remember at my old job when they hired me on, they tested, you know, was overall testing me out, seeing like, you know, what location that I was going to work better at. And I ended up working better at the more busier location. And and then they had where I worked at, you know, the other locations like throughout the time just because like, you know, like, oh, if we were short staffed or whatever. But anyways, they had me working at the busiest location, doing the most amount, not doing the most amount of work because there was like other, you know, cashiers and stuff that was there a lot longer. So of course they're going to be doing the most amount of work, but they had me doing a lot. So, but the thing is like, I still to this day, it's like, they never was like, oh, well, we can't hire you. Cause like, no, so that my last job, it was kind of like, how can I really like place it in words? So it wasn't like a big franchise like Chipotle, but it was a big franchise. Like but it was more like an exclusive, like big, like only you have to like work for certain companies or go to certain places to know about them and stuff. And the thing is like we serve good food, you know, we were chilling and stuff, but yeah, Chipotle, I was like, man, like I don't know what that was all about. Like it's something where I'm like, I don't hold a grudge to them. I know people gonna probably be all like, well, have you eaten there since then? I've never eaten at Chipotle. Before that interview and even after, that would have made more sense if they didn't hire me. They're all like, oh, have you eaten here before? And I'm like, nah, man, never ate here before. And I'm like, wait, what? And then I feel like that would be a reason. I'm like, okay, well, they're probably like, well, we want somebody to like know about our foods. But even like my last job, like I never ate at that. Well, I mean, I did after they hired me and stuff, but beforehand, I didn't even know that place had existed. So like, yeah, that was, you know, if they wouldn't have hired me, I'm like, you know, and they're like, oh, well, we want you to like actually like, you know about certain foods and things. I'm like, all right, you know, that's cool, that's chill. Like it's just me being a picky eater. I get it, you know. I can't have no hostility towards you, but to be like, oh, well, do you know when Chipotle was founded? And I'm like, no, I'm not even for certain when I was founded. I'm like, I don't know if my birthday, if I was born in 1996. I'm all like, my parents could be lying to me saying like, oh yeah, you were actually born in this time, but we just, you know, pushed it a few years because like I think about stuff like that, man. So, but no, so pretty much my advice out there for you, you know, to the person that's like conducting the interview, that like, you know, that's overall like, you know, you're the one that's like the manager or whatever and stuff. Don't ask them no questions like that, all right? Especially if it's a friend. Like if they come out and they tell you about that, okay, then you know they just overall did a little bit more research than I did. But that should not be an interview question. You know, that interview question, you should just cross that out. Because a person, they're trying to get paid. Just like how you went in for that interview and you're trying to get paid. That's what that person is trying to do. They're trying to get paid. They're not here for no history. Like the fact that I was all like, bruh, history will never matter after I graduate from high school. But they're all like, no, you got to pay attention to the history of the businesses that you want to work for. I'm like, that's crazy, man. So... But anyways, yeah, I just, me personally, I just think that, you know, that's like, you guys, like, that's just a question y'all should just cross out. And yeah, you know, ask like, hey, so like, in this situation, what would you do? Like, you know, if you guys are busy, you're the only cashier out and stuff, what do you do in this scenario? Or what do you do in this scenario where, like, you know, like enough cooks hadn't showed up? So, like, what do you tell the customers and things, you know? Like, stuff like that. But if you're all like, you know, asking me some Jeopardy questions and things, I'm like, bro, that's like one of the main reasons why I barely watch Jeopardy, because I'm like, I watch it to, you know, to learn, but it's like, and that's why I go to, that's what my thing is this. If there was like, you know, somebody there like telling me, you know, about like if like, so like, let's say for an example, if they did want me to know about the history of Chipotle, right? So what, me personally, what I would do, I would like hire that person on. I'll make sure like they're a good worker and all that, but hire that person on, and then as the time progresses on, then tell them like, you know, little fun facts about you know, Chipotle, and just be all like, yeah, you know, throw that in the customer's face of things. But like, oh yeah, and this time we were, you know, doing this or whatever, you know, but just stuff like that. That's just what I would personally do. But anyways, but yeah, you know, if you guys have any crazy, like, you know, Chipotle moments and stuff, like, feel free to comment them down below. In the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.